All right. Hey, everybody. Anna Krueger here, MAPS coach, specifically for lead generation and even more specifically for ISAs. And today we have Christina joining us, and I'll let Christina introduce herself. However, I have to say something. She's amazing, and she's accomplished a lot in her personal life over the last few years and knows a lot about goal setting and achieving goals just from her own personal journey. And then also she's a MAPS coach. She coaches a group class for MAPS on short sales and foreclosures. And I'm going to let her take it from here. Yet I'm so excited she's with us. She has a lot of value to add. So grab something to take notes with as we get ready to jump in. So Christina, tell everyone where you're from, a little bit about your background, and then what you're doing now.
Okay, thank you first and foremost for having me here. I'll give you the few-minute version of who I am. My name's Christina Griffin. I'm in the Tampa Bay area. I am born and raised in Tampa. I have 41 agents on our team. I've been with Keller Williams for 3 years. I've been an agent for over 20. And a little bit about me, our team has sold over 4,000 properties. I've sold over 2,000 distressed homes personally. I personally, for the last 10 years, have done over 100 transactions each and every year. But what I would tell you is I think we have to learn where the person has came from to get to where they are. And for me, I've gone through a lot of tragedy, a lot of loss. My mom, dad, and sister died all 9 years apart. When I joined KW, I just beat cancer. I had my miracle baby, and I've lost everything and rebuilt. Why am I telling you that? It's crazy. I'm right at my 3-year anniversary. I'm down 200 pounds.
200 pounds, everybody. That's huge.
Yeah, I've lost 200 pounds. I was over 385 pounds when I had my son, my 18-year-old. And, when I joined KW, it was that pivotal time that just to change the way I just look at things, so to speak. So for me, I made a lot of changes, but I came here to learn how to run the business side of things. And I'm very, very coachable and it's kind of crazy, the systems and models.
I think my book's pretty tattered, just like yours. There you go.
So I've learned a lot, but what I will tell you is, for me, Anna, the big thing is, I'm not going to say COVID's been a blessing for me. However, it's gave me the time to really, truly build my faith. My faith is stronger than ever. My team, my business, my relationships, my family, everything is stronger than ever. I've gone through a ton of loss, and it was really the time for me to get real, to get right. And I'm just excited for the future, and I'm glad you had me here. Yeah. I'm glad I'm here.
Thank you for saying yes when we invited you. I really appreciate that. And I know everybody listening will get a lot of value out of today. So there's a lot that we could talk about. And today we're really going to focus this towards the ISA team that you've built. What are some of the failures so people can learn and avoid those? What are some of the wins? What do they do for your team? How do they help your agents? Things like that. I will say to you listening, if you have specific questions, Christina and I agreed that we would really customize this based on what you guys want to know. So I'm going to ask her some questions. Yet we're not here for us. We're here for you. So if you have something you really want to ask Christina, you can type that in and we'll get to as many of those as we can before we're out of time. So Christina, let me ask you, what was the thing that told you, I think I'm ready to have ISAs on my team? Because a lot of people are wondering, how do you know?
So it was my operations manager that got with the right coach who said, you need ISAs on your team, to be honest with you. I personally, a little bit about me, into 2013, I was selling about 300 to 400 homes a year personally. I had an assistant. I didn't even know what a CRM was.
Whoa. That's great. For that volume to not have a CRM is huge.
I sold thousands of homes. There's a lot more about my history. We can definitely talk about it another time. But really what happened is, being in the distressed real estate side of things, I created 10 times as many leads and opportunities as you would a normal listing. And I was told by one of my banks to go check out a coaching program. I walked out and it changed my life. I'm very coachable. I followed all their programs and systems, really capped out. During that time frame, I was also struggling with cancer and trying to have our miracle baby. So in conjunction, I beat the cancer, I had the baby, and we grew the team. And it's amazing what happens when you surround yourself with really big thinkers and they continue to push you. So for me, it was joining KW and really learning what an asset your database is. And I do look at things a lot differently than most. Like I prospect things like notice of defaults, condemned properties, abandoned property lists, probate, divorce. We scrub the do not call, so many different things. However, I've got 80,000 leads in our database.
Yeah, it's a lot of leads.
A lot of leads.
And that's money sitting there. Like I often know when people hire an ISA, we look at the database and they'll have 10,000, 12,000 leads. And then we look and we realize these haven't been contacted in months, which is money sitting there. So Christina, if someone said like, what's the ratio? And I have an answer. I'm just curious what yours is as well. But like how many leads or how many agents is the ratio? Because sometimes we have single agents that want to hire an ISA, and that's actually not the next best hire. The next best hire would be an assistant or a coach.
Absolutely.
So what was your, like, okay, I have this many of this, and that told me I need an ISA for those listening.
Well, so what I would tell you is we create so much opportunity. Our team has done 4,000 plus transactions, and the amount of people that call us and the call capture that we have. And when we really looked at what wasn't being touched, we learned to audit the agents that receive leads and opportunity, and they're busy. They're in the field. They're going to, heck, we just opened an MAO and I keep hearing the doorbell. So that's one of my agents probably coming in after a day of door knocking. So, they're out in the field, and, to be able to consistently stay on top of all of those nurtures, we definitely did not see the return like we should on the opportunity that we bring in. So for us, it was, I really am great at bringing in the opportunity, and I wanted to create a platform that we just had agents that went on appointments and they did what they love each and every day. And that's, to me, my operations manager, she's been with me 7 years, and she is if you've read Rocket Fuel, she's my integrator. Yeah. She is that one that's going to smack me in the head and tell me this is what we need to do, and encourage me and help me put systems in place. And for us, we just were creating so much opportunity, and we definitely saw things slip through the cracks. So for agents, when they hire an ISA, after they've had that admin in place or that transaction coordinator, I'm learning everyone resonates differently. Some agents, they're going to door knock. They're going to connect with their database. They're going to do different things differently. However, an ISA will help you nurture not just cold prospects. They're going to help you nurture your database and your past clients and the people that you know, like, and trust, the people in your phone.
Yeah. And I think that's something a lot of people miss is a lot of times I see people hire an ISA and they immediately put them on cold calling, which there's opportunity there. Yet I often say, well, let's look at your database first, because before you generate new leads that are going to get lost in this huge database that's not in contact, let's call the leads you already have. That will generate new leads because they'll have referrals, they'll know people moving, and you'll actually convert those leads. So if you're listening and you're thinking, how do I know it's time to hire an ISA? Let me give you a couple general things to write down. Normally, you're going to need 2 to 3 agents to support the appointments an ISA is setting for you. So a good ratio, you could say 2 to 3 to 1. So if you have 6 agents, that's probably 2 ISAs that could fill their schedule. If you have less than that, the ISA is going to find that they're generating so much business and then they don't know where to put them. So you want 2 to 3 agents per ISA. The other thing you want to look at is how many leads came in the last week. Just even look at your last week and then audit it. probably gonna be a little painful, but figure out how many of those leads got called 6 times within 6 to 10 business days, because that's what earns you a 90% contact ratio. So a lot of times people have leads come in and they have so many just falling on their face that they call them maybe once, twice, and then they're like, these leads are crap. They're not good leads. And it's like, actually, they're great leads. You don't have the manpower, or maybe it's a time blocking thing that you're actually calling them 6 times within 6 days. That's why they're not picking up the phone. So these are just some markers. If you're wondering, how do I know it's time? Check out those 2 things.
Well, and Anna, right now is a perfect time for an agent. Most of us have thousands of people in our phone. And, you know, right now with what's going on in the world, from forbearance to, you know, the numbers are 11 million to 40 million plus people in eviction. You know, for me, I tell everyone there's a few really cool apps we use that you can text everybody in your entire phone and say, hey, give me your address. I would love to be able to follow up. Just checking on you. I'd love to send you a card. So most agents aren't going to slow down enough to put those addresses into a database to send them a card. And then you follow up with them and say, hey, I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. If you know anyone that's in forbearance or in eviction, I'd love to show them and offer options to them. The cool thing with an ISA is they can help you with things like that, your database. They can help you really truly follow up on the people that know, like, and trust you, or they can, you know, it's so many different things, but leverage comes at so many prices, and you can have leverage at, you know, overseas, and then you have leverage in the States to be able to help you create those opportunities. And we have both. We have quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, and I want to dive a little deeper, because part of this webinar is how do you lead ISAs and what works, what doesn't. However, a lot of you listening have probably noticed Christina talks a lot about forbearance, foreclosures, people going, you know, they might be evicted soon, or they're going to be losing their homes. So she does teach a class for MAPS about foreclosures and short sales. And at the end of this program, we'll go over her program as well as the one for ISAs, because both of them are going to help you increase business. So we're going to stay on the ISA conversation, but hang at the end. We'll make sure you know how to get into her class as well as the Mastering Inside Sales. So Christina, how many ISAs do you have on your team?
We have 3.
3?
Yes.
And what have you found has been the benefit to your team? I know you told me it helps agents stay in their 20%. Like, what have you seen these people do for you? Because there is a common belief out there that ISAs don't work. It doesn't last. I tried that and it didn't work for me. And so we're working to dispel that myth in the industry, because it's not true. It's a myth. ISAs absolutely work.
We do.
It's a certain model and system that we need to follow to make it work. So back to the original question, how have you seen ISAs benefit your team?
So we have 3 outbound ISAs. Then we have 1 ISA that just handles repeat and referral business, because we do obtain a lot of referrals from agents. So their focus is nurturing those relationships. Plus we have a lead admin that helps nurture those relationships as well. So in essence, I'd say we have 5. In addition, I don't have a voicemail. So
I like that.
So I don't have a voicemail, as well as I apologize.
That's fine.
I don't have a voicemail. And that happened, one of my banks a few years ago, they audit you. And it went to my prior real estate company, and then it got transferred to the floor agent that didn't return the call. And they slap you on the hand. And if you get slapped on the hand, the second time you lose the relationship. So I really am a proponent of controlling our business, controlling what we do, and things to that nature. So what I would tell you is, in essence, we have someone that fully answers the phone all the time. So if someone
calls, don't need a voicemail, because
no. So if somebody calls, if I'm here, someone answers the phone. If one of our ISAs are on the phone, someone answers the phone. If someone calls on our sign, someone answers the phones. Call capture is one of the most important things. So ISAs can really be viewed in so many different ways. We have someone that nurtures referrals, we have a lead admin, and then we have 3 outbound ISAs. So what it's done for us is when we have someone dedicated fully on nurturing the relationship, it creates more repeat and referral. It helps us nurture our MET and our non-MET database, and it allows us to have more transparency on what's happening. And it's really exciting when the agents, they let us know the leads are really good. The leads are getting better. So I contribute all of it to my operations manager. I just follow her way, and I do tee up the opportunities that the ISAs are working on. I really love to analyze data, and there's so much data that from high sales scores to, expireds, cancels, the leads that called us from February to June, those are converting at the highest level right now. Or we have a team account with leads from 5+ years ago. Those are converting every day, but our ISAs, and we actually have our admin team in them as well, each and every day, working to help create opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I like how you said some of those older leads are converting, because I think that's one of the biggest opportunities of having an ISA team, because I find a lot of agents, and it's the personality of agents, right? Like, we are usually result oriented. We want the right now business. That tends to be the typical personality profile of a successful agent, because they're a salesperson. And so what happens a lot of times is we're so focused on the right now people that we need people on the team. If it's not us, we need someone on the team that's aware and tapping into those older leads. Because we know, everybody write this down, most appointments will set on the 7th conversation. Now, my goal in coaching, we have the Mastering Inside Sales program. My goal is that your scripts and dialogues are so good, you set them way before the 7th conversation. But however, that is industry normal, is 7 conversations to set an appointment. Our agent's going to talk to all of those leads at least 7 times to set it. A lot of them don't have the capacity because they're out servicing clients. They're showing houses, they're writing offers and negotiating contracts. And so that's where an ISA team can really come in handy. I'm curious, Christina, what's something that you would say, don't do this? It's not good. Don't do this specific to the ISA team. Let's avoid some mistakes here.
So first and foremost, I love that you teach the leaders how to be able to manage the ISAs, because that truly creates such a foundation for us. So what not to do? You have to inspect what you expect. You also have to listen to conversations. We have our lead ISA who has been through your program and rewatched multiple times, but he also helps coach them. So what not to do is just think that the ISAs are an easy button.
Totally not.
Just really truly figure out the holes in your business, and if your conversion is not where it needs to be, find out why. And the ISAs they could be an easy button when you hire the right ones. We go through full career visioning, no matter where they come from. We do have in-state and out-of-state, or in-state and overseas. And we've been blessed to have some really amazing overseas talent as well as in-state. So your agents, when they're on the road, you utilize your ISAs as a support system. Our agents will go to a listing appointment and then email or notify the ISAs, hey, this is what happened. So immediately the system is updated and the right drip campaigns and everything is put in place. Utilize your CRM, because
I'm going to pause you there for a minute. What you just said is how it should be done. And I'm just going to help all of you listening. The number one reason for why I hear ISAs leave teams is they do not get follow-up on their appointments. And if you think about it, a talented ISA is a salesperson. They're results-oriented. If they're not results-oriented, they shouldn't be an inside sales agent. I'm just going to say it. It's not the right seat on the bus for them. They need to be results-oriented. So if there's not a system like what Christina just described, where the agent is looping back to the ISA, the CRM is being updated, I promise you, you will lose. I wouldn't work for you. If you didn't have that, there's no way I would work for you. Because one, the ISA is paid for closings, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we don't know the conversion once we hand it to you, we can't predict our income because we don't know what happens after we set the appointment. The other thing is it helps with scripting, right? So if Christina tells me, hey, this person didn't sign and here's the reason why, that informs me as an ISA, what do I need to get better at catching on the phone? It also can inform the agents, what do you need to get better at in the appointment? So just know what Christina just said, I had to interrupt and highlight that. Make sure you have a feedback loop to your agents. Okay, keep going.
Well, and also with in-state ISAs, make sure to create a world that they're going to be able to grow within. And that is so important. So I just, for me, that's one of the reasons I joined KW. Gary said to always create a world so big that they're going to continue to grow with you. And, we've got great talent. And being able to help and figure out those resources that are going to help that agent grow. I'm so thankful for Matt's coaching, because I'll tell you, Matt's coaching and my own coach has helped me take the systems and models, fix what was broken before I joined the company, and be able to really break things down to be able to get to where we need to be. I create so many leads and opportunity. My own operations manager has told me, stop it. Slow down, because all I do, one of my biggest things that I love to do is hunt for big fish and big opportunity. What agents don't realize, some of them do think small, and it's okay. There are opportunities that can create hundreds of free leads or things that come into your team and your database. But an ISA is going to help you and be that resource. And again, it can happen when you're a single agent. You can get a transaction coordinator in your office, to help service you and help you, and have an ISA help support you. One of my lead agents just hired her own ISA to help her with her Boomtown follow-up and help set appointments. So we're thankful.
No-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. And there's so many facets an ISA can do. I'm hearing a lot of team leaders and recruiters having ISAs. It really is that support to support you on the phone, to help nurture your relationships and your contacts. So it doesn't have to be one way. And I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, me too. And what I think the big thing too, and I've thought this several times as you've spoken, so I'm just going to say it out loud, because you've talked about an ISA could be used this way or that way, or they could call this source or this source. And I find a lot of times it's like we have this box that we think ISAs have to live in, where they call only these lead sources.
Only expired, right?
Yeah, expired, FSBO, circle calling. First of all, boring. If that's all you do. As an ISA, that was maybe half my day. And right now, there's not even a whole lot of expireds and FSBOs, right? Or at least expireds. That will change.
There's a lot of notice of defaults, though.
Yes, which Christina, we'll talk about your class here in just a minute too. But the thing is, it's your ISA, their job is to talk to humans and see if they have a real estate need, whatever that looks like. So maybe your ISA even does some door knocking. Maybe your ISA, when things are open, maybe they go to the expo center and they have a booth at a fair going on and they collect names of people. I know of an ISA that would go to a wedding, like a wedding expo, because people getting married probably have some houses to sell and houses to buy. They would have a booth with a giveaway, got a whole bunch of leads, and they would find people. So we want to remember.
I love that you mentioned that, because I have an outbound, and I should have called them an ISA but in my mind, I look at them as a runner. But you're right, it's an ISA. I pull the same list: high sell scores, expireds, notice of defaults, people that are past clients going to foreclosure sale, and she will door knock and put door hangers safely, meeting COVID restrictions, on about 30 or 40 houses a day. We get more responses from that than we do almost anything. That and our old leads are it's the best business right now.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is that's still lead generation and lead conversion, right? So it just looks a little different. And I want to say too, I want to make sure I'm clear, only calling expired and FSBO, First of all, Expireds and Visbo are actually my two personal favorite lead sources to call. I love the challenge of it. Yet if that's all you do all day, that's going to lead to really fast burnout. So just want all of you listening to hear the message. And ISA, their job is to talk to humans and see if they have a real estate need. Anywhere that you can find a human, whether that's on the phone, door knocking, doing a fair of some type, that's called lead gen. And that's what we need people to help us do. So Christina, let's talk about our two programs. I'll let you go first and share a little bit. You guys have probably heard Christina talk a lot about, you know, the market and people in default. And she has a class that was designed after COVID, really specifically to help us as agents know how to navigate those conversations. So Christina, just give a, 60-second overview of what that is and where to find it.
Well, so first and foremost, I want you to know that Anna's program works hand in hand because the notice of defaults that are happening in your area and the forbearances when those agreements come due, having your ISA understand those conversations, put them through both of our programs is going to allow you to create the biggest business that you want. There are millions of homeowners that are in forbearance right now, and that visibility is going to be massive. So my program, you go to MAPS Coaching, you look at under group coaching, and you'll see it short sales and foreclosures. But I teach you things that I personally have done in my own business. I've sold thousands of foreclosures. I am not one of those agents that say they did short sales and they did them over 10 years ago. We do short sales every single month consistently, REOs every single month consistently, and work with off-market properties. So we're going to teach you everything. And your program it just works in conjunction on every level.
Yeah, because the program I teach is called Mastering Inside Sales, and it's really lead generation. We have agents in there, single agents, as well as ISAs. And basically, if you talk to humans, it will teach you how to do that and convert them into a lead. In fact, I've even heard we have team leaders in there that are recruiters looking for agents. And so it's really designed for ISAs, and the feedback has been, I use it, and I'm in this other role. So my class is called Mastering Inside Sales. You can find it at masteringinsidesales.com. We started 3 weeks ago. Today was the third week with our most recent class. And when you sign up, the first 3 are on demand, and then we have 15 more sessions. And in that class, we really teach you how to talk to anyone. And that's what I love. It's not specific to a specific lead source, which is where Christina's program comes in. The one I coach is more geared towards just the science of how to talk to people. So no matter what the lead source is, how do you get their motivation? And it covers things like how to get motivation, what to do if they pick up the phone and say, I'm busy, call me later. You're not busy, you just picked up the phone. So we talk through how do you actually keep them on the phone and actually turn that into an appointment. We go over things like how do you set an appointment that shows up. So it's not specific to a specific lead source. It's designed to help your ISA be able to talk to anyone. Now, when it comes to specific lead sources, that's where Christina's program would come in, because they may need to be knowledgeable on these foreclosure and short sale opportunities. And I don't teach that. That's where Christina would come in.
Well, Anna, so what I hear, and so I teach you about 40 plus different resources, in addition from condemned to divorce to probate, all these different resources. But what I'm hearing, it may not just need to be an ISA to be through your program. To me, every agent should go through your program, because they need to learn how to have those conversations to execute it. So even if it's a new agent, I just had this light bulb go off. It should be any agent, because the agent should be able to learn how to have those to execute those conversations on a high level. And you teach that. So. Yeah. Anyway, I
agree. I mean, I used to think it really was specific to the ISA, but even our first 3 classes, we talked about a buyer sheet and a seller sheet. We talked about how to dig into motivation and actually go deep, not just you want to downsize, but why do you want to downsize? Then we talked about how to set an action item with every client and have them call you back with an update, so you're not chasing leads. I mean, imagine that. Hey, Christina, your next step's to talk to a lender. When will you call me back to let me know what they said? Now you're calling me, and if you don't, and I call you, you think I'm amazing, And all I did was follow up, which is what I'm supposed to do anyway, right?
No, we never sent seller and buyer packets until we were in your class. So like, maybe you should do AKA ninja prospecting.
There we go.
So to me, it's open to everybody. So I am, you definitely have opened our eyes and our team, and our goal is to continue to build our ISA department to be able to help the agents do what they love, go on appointments.
Yeah. Well, and that's what a lot of ISAs get energy from, is when you ask them what motivates you or what inspires you, a lot of them say they view the agents like their client, and it's a partnership, right? Like hopefully the agents also view the ISA as their client because we want to close out deals together, right? But a lot of ISAs say, I get energy out of helping my agents hit their goals. I mean, what a blessing to have that on your team, right? So we're at time, and I want to respect everyone's time, but definitely right now is the season to learn how to work with foreclosure, short sales, all the things Christina mentioned. I think it's a wonderful class. Check that out at MAPS Group Coaching. You just go to mapscoaching.com and then click on group. And then the class I teach, Mastering Inside Sales, again, it's open to anyone. If you talk to humans and need to know how to convert them into a signed listing or buyer agreement, or really turn them into a recruitment or anything, this is the class that will help you know how to do that. So go to masteringinsidesales.com and you'll see a little button that says sign up now. Well, Christina, I think you're super inspiring. I can't wait to see you in person and give you a big hug. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Again, thank you for having me. And I look forward to sending our new ISAs and agents through your program. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, thank you, Christina. And hopefully you guys will see you either in her class or my class or both. So we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.